Hello. Today we have a show match between SEP and versus SEK, so Poland versus Germany. So yeah. Wait. Soon the game will start, hopefully without too many errors and without too many lags. We'll see how that goes, hopefully well. And well, it's interesting, we don't often have those in here. Like once a year, maybe twice. Hopefully more often in the future. And we have Mayans, Romans and Trojans, interesting, from our team, versus Romans, Vikingers and Mayans. I just wonder if there will be any kind of mana shenanigans everywhere. Actually, let me share the links in other places as well. That's really okay. Okay, let's go there. Yeah. Still waiting for the guys to actually get ready. Hopefully this time the map works on here. It looks kind of good, I would say, on the miniature. You guys probably can see it very well, like half of it. So we will see. Let me also open YouTube so I can actually see comments. That probably won't be very many, but better than nothing. So let's just see. I wonder. I have a better idea how to access that. And the game is on. And yeah, it's X1, so yeah, expect me to be bored. Oh, and I also forgot to actually mark who is who. So Kamchishino error. Let me do that right now. In white. Shino in blue. Error in turquoise. That's like that. Then we have. Okay, these nicks are hard. One in red. Oh no, it was okay. This is red, this was yellow. And finally we have the architect in orange. All right, hopefully everything works. There we go. Everything is perfect, and so far we can already see that they didn't even build first residence, so I guess nothing much happened since then. But such is the nature of X1. Perhaps you could see how they... And what's happening right now? Am I lagging? Okay, fatal error from Shino. I don't know if SEP is good, honestly. So yeah, we are restarting anyway. Oh, such a good game. Shino got fatal error. I hopefully can exit the game instead of having to rewrite the stats for the third time. That would be nice, honestly. That would be nice. But it doesn't seem to let me out, honestly. So yeah, the Knicks, they have, like, Polish players have such a simple nicknames, and it's good. And then they have such a hard to write nicknames. You don't realize that until, okay, maybe it will let me out since server is just now leaving. Yes, good, we have that. We are in the green, let's say. And well, I'm waiting for the guys to host again. There they are. Okay, pre-made spot, good. Actually, is that a save? It might have been a 2-minute mark. So, yeah, Shino was a little bit too slow again. A little bit too slow. He should have quit a bit before minute 2, I guess. Okay, he saved it. Shino managed to save it. So we will indeed go to the new save. Not bad. Good job, Shino. Good job. You managed to get the restart. Yeah. Okay, there are the games. I'm going to my spot, taking my color, my nation, getting ready, and waiting for the guys to get in as well. So yeah, no rewriting nicknames. Of course, error often gets errors. That's normal. Go. Okay, no photo. We are in the green, hopefully. Let's wait for the map to reveal. And we can once again look at how beautifully and fast players can actually... Okay, did they change colors? They did not, I think. No, they did. I believe these two players actually switched colors, so I have to change that. Let me check once again. Yep. Yep. So to not confuse to everyone, and there we go. Fortunately, they didn't change spots, which is good. Do we already see the pickaxes being moved? Well, not from Shino's side. Let's see if there is a Mayan player on the other side. There is. Yet we don't. We actually see slower stonecutters, which is interesting. They are not yet being built. Maybe that's different spot and the small residence comes in first. Then the triple tower, triple stonecutter. Interesting. Kinda interesting. And here we have Vikings, I guess. Okay, this is a very good spot for Mayans. Triple stack and 2 more stacks. And this whole stone field up there. Not that many mountains. Probably Kamchi, I believe that's Kamchi or Error, that's Error. Okay, Error will go for this one mountain. Kamchi will have this whole mountain to himself and Shino will be just taking these two. So that's probably what's going to be happening soon here. This is a very nice spot for Mayans. Perhaps a bit too much forests around. And however, you have good desert there. You can probably put like 8 plantations there. And the river is not that long, but it's pretty straight, so you can actually use it quite well. And also you don't have to put all your fishermen there. You can just put them on the right here. around this lake. And well, the amount of stone is really nice. Then Kamchi does not, that's Error. Then Error doesn't have that much stone, but that's fine on Romance. You can very easily solve that issue through use of mana. And then we have Kamchi, and Kamchi is just playing trailer, a single stack. This mountain is pretty clean, you can easily dig through it with Spew Pioneers and take all that stone for yourself, so he shouldn't have any major problems when it comes to stone anyway. And well, same applies to German players. However, this Mayan spot I think is a bit worse than the one Shino got. However, it shouldn't be too bad. He still has two very close by stone stacks and then whole stone field. Perhaps he can even take a bit from the Vikinger player, but it should overall be pretty good. Well, you have to have this big, otherwise you wouldn't see anything, so that's like trade-off. I just should be mindful to not do things that are under them, which is like probably main concern, honestly. Okay, here we already see the mountains being explored from 2 out of 3 players. Our players did not yet start doing that, which is fine, it's not too late, obviously. And honestly, this river for Aaron won't be too nice. However, Romans don't need that much water overall, and he can also utilize that lake for fishing, so it's not terrible anyway. Although the path from here to like this mountain will take quite a bit of settlers, as the distance is quite large. And honestly, I would probably be in favor in just placing like one magazine or storage area somewhere in the middle, so the settlers just carry them from here to here, and then another bunch of settlers would actually carry them further into the mountain. That could be interesting. Then we have Shino with double medium residence and okay, that's very fast farms, honestly. That's very fast farms. That's iron smelter, and that's like how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 geologists coming into the mountain together with actually with some stone for the tower. And I usually often delay the wood a bit before actually getting more stone, but I don't think anything with what Shino is doing is wrong, honestly. I should try that myself, perhaps. Just differences in playstyle, honestly. Then we have Error, and Error is slower on wood than Shino is, which is kinda surprising. And then Kamchi, which looks like a monster for this stage of the game. Which sounds funny, but honestly, he is just not digging that much. However, he does look very, very good, in my opinion. Then we have the Germans, and I don't think there will be any shenanigans with actually sending the honey. The Vikingers won't be sending the honey to Romance for easy wheat access, because the distance is simply too long. However, it would be cool to see some team playing. Although this is just X1, so don't expect me to actually comment too much at certain point, because I probably will just get not that interested, honestly. And honestly, this Miles player kinda looks slower than Shino. However, he does have more forest compared to Shino. Obviously, the slot is kinda different, and he has to deal with that river that is pretty much within the forest, and that shouldn't be too bad for him. And honestly, looking at the stats, I don't see nothing against SEK. They are big. In my opinion, they are just, well, not that big. I hardly see anything on phone. at least I can see some things, which is better than nothing. And who will be the first on tools? And that is Shino. And as I said, I kind of prefer the position that Shino is in right now. Yeah, he has a bit too much wood as it is already being stockpiled in the farms, which is good. At least none of it will be wasted, although it shouldn't be wasted anyway. But overall, faster tools are always an advantage. Then the Vikings also look quite good. The forest is in pretty good position right here. The river, despite being kinda short, will be enough because they also have a river here, which is interesting. However, it is in the stone that shouldn't matter in the late game. It should probably be even kinda encouraged, I would say. And yeah, we already also see the tools, the forest, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, that's full forest. That's a full forest, interesting, very interesting. That's quite fast forest in my opinion. He didn't struggle at all with making it, so that should be fine. Then let's look at the Romans. Romans are already making some tools, a bit slower than a bit faster than Error, and overall also look very good. Although I feel like he's not reading enough. Like, you can say the diggers are just standing around doing nothing. That's a minor misplay. That's that's nothing big. Yeah, I'm just noting that the diggers right now are just mostly standing around and not doing too much for the red player. In comparison, probably no one else's diggers are actually standing around. So yeah. Certainly not Shino's, who has whole... Well, yeah, you can just look at this. This is massive building field. Bigger than for Error, bigger than for Kamchi, bigger than basically for any other player right now. And yeah, Germans are only right now starting to add some farms to the build. Around minute 9, Shino is already having them predict all completely, which is really good. And then let's take a look at resources, and honestly it is very much close for everyone, in fact. Oh, seriously? You could have said it earlier, honestly. How about now? Is that better? Hopefully, yes. Anyway, I can also do one more thing. Let me quickly... let's do like 350. How about now, Argan? Argan doesn't understand anyway, because I'm too quiet. And right now should be better. Hopefully. Is that one? Oh, that's probably why. That might have been why. Good. I don't want to be too loud as well, because I'm nearly in the red anyway, when it comes to that. Thank you for reporting that issue, honestly. Well, it's kinda Showmatch for... Yeah, that was basically the whole point of this, to go and actually be able to sort of unite players in one place, or at least in one stream, so like Germans can come and see, and Polish people can come and see, and well, I hope it works. It doesn't too much, but the idea at least is decent, I hope. Because otherwise, like, this is kind of hard. However, we can already see that this red player is already on the other side, here taking those stone fields, and Kamchi is following closely behind, honestly. This should be really close, at least at the bottom. However, red player is kind of behind on digging. So hopefully Kamchi will abuse that to get some advantage, and the red player will be actually stalling on not enough building predict. And while Error is doing his own thing, kinda, making bigger forests, honestly it doesn't look too bad. And Shino is building first farms. Honestly it looks good. Like, very good timing for Mayan's first food economy to be ready is around minute like 20. If you have everything and are playing using 6 farms. I don't actually know if I see 6. I see 5 for sure. I don't actually see 6th one. Interesting. Maybe it will come in later. It should be very good timing, and at least hopefully it will be very good timing. Then again, we just see the Vikinger expanding the forest. I'm honestly curious how many lumberjacks he will have by the end of that, because, well, that kinda dictates how you will be playing this nation, at least in my opinion. The more of them you have, and the more macro you will be playing, basically. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, at least 16, okay. And we also see, that's very interesting. You do not often see that, right? You do not often see that, and this is a curious play. You don't make a tower, you just dig a spot right there, make a top, and then build that tower there. Very interesting thing. It kinda lets you save a bit of resources. Like how much? 2 planks and 1 stone, I believe. Or something like that. I believe you save that many resources. Which is something. Question is if it is worth it to not be digging buildings in that time. And that's just interesting position of farms. Perhaps this is the most optimal one. However, it is hard to say, honestly. And yeah, this tower is already being built. This is not yet flattened. And first mana from Error. That's quite fast mana. That's good mana timing, I guess. And we see, min 16, we see 5 farms from China. That's interesting. That's really interesting. We also see, okay, 7 to 3, so that's just the standard forest. 10 stonecutters, so that's also pretty standard. And then going for more towers. Quick expanding. And we can also see that the pioneers are being used basically extensively here. Very much so. As well as right here. I wonder if Mayan's player is also using them somewhere. But I'm not currently seeing that happening. And that's also 3 to 6 right now. Honestly, besides these animals, I kinda prefer Shino. Like, maybe the spot is slightly different, but honestly, I do very much like how Shino looks in this minute. Very nice. And it is hard for me to judge Error, honestly. The farms are kinda already coming in, but this looks like a forest that honestly won't be working that efficiently. I don't know, maybe I'm just mistaken, but it just looks like this to me. And then Kamchi is like basically awakening his inner German and going for the most, basically whatever he can. Like already some flower farms are coming in. There is a bunch of digging going around everywhere basically. That looks really good in my opinion, and this forest will probably stand for a long time as well. Due to it just being from here to here, and settlers would probably avoid it slightly. But yeah. And I wonder how many farms Mayan players will actually make. I also see 5. This is 6th one, okay. However, it's slightly delayed. Slight delay of the 6th farm. Interesting for me. Okay, here is the 6th farm from Shino. And unfortunately he's kinda slower on the actual production buildings. However, that does not matter much as long as you can actually get them in at the time that first harvest will be coming in as well. As you can see, like, there isn't any wheat yet here, I believe. Okay, there is some. Okay, that's my bad. It's probably just hidden there. And we also see first wheat. So this Mayan player is slightly faster than Shino. However, I still kind of prefer his position to the position of German player. We also see 2 magazines. I wonder what they will be for. And in the meantime, we see kinda a lot more people. It certainly feels that way. Right, so let's take a look. And yes, indeed, the Mayan player has the most of them. And kind of feels slightly... Oh, I didn't change teams. I just now see it. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, that's good. So let's see how they compare team to team. And the red player has surprisingly little settlers. Yep. The red player is short on settlers. Are you seeing it? Only now the residence is coming in. But indeed he was slightly short on settlers. Which I do find interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, honestly. Okay, there are some standing right now once those ones started coming out, so it wasn't major, but still something interesting to see, honestly. And yeah, that's the first production coming in. Also first magazine. And I'm waiting to actually see the first butter. I believe that will be butter or something similar, perhaps farm. But it does feel like butter. And then we have even more residences. Second iron smelter, quite far from the mountain. Kinda non-standard from what we usually do. Fourth sawmill. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's kinda 10, 11. Okay, that's perfect. He's just actively already using those woodcutters to actually get rid of the wood, which is really good. And it's something that Error is not yet doing. Meanwhile, Shino is still not completely finished with his eco. Although he does have that game plan of usually hyperscaling, so I don't think anything is honestly wrong with that. Especially that it is coming in right now. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. Even if you're not on the perfect timing, it's still fine. On mines, you can be really fast and get really quite good PT with even some substandard strategies, in my opinion. Well, anyway, each strategy kinda looks differently and also feels differently. But yeah, that's 6 to 6, I believe, in farms. 2, 4, 5. That's 6 to 5 farms. Interesting to see 5 farms, honestly. I have not expected that, honestly, too much. But we do see first mill, first bakery, first animal farm. Oh, there it is. There is the 6th one. They are just so far apart that it's kinda hard to see sometimes. And the Germans are also doing something I like to do. So we basically build a hunter and then build a tower, and then you crush it. Or just leave it. The important part is the terrain and the animals that come with it. Honestly, what I like to do is also to push these animals from outside the terrain into the terrain, because they will actively run from your army. And on X1 you basically can do that risk free, APM free, like you don't have to care. And yeah, 6 farm from this Roman player as well. Meanwhile, Kamchi already has 3 sunflowers, 4 coming in, 2 oil presses, 2 small temples. No big temple yet that I see. Honestly, he might have hard time fitting it in somewhere. Hopefully that is it, but I don't think it's a large temple. It does not seem like it at all. And the error is doing his own thing, kinda. Let's see how error looks, and it is not too bad, honestly. He's kinda high when it comes to resources spent. Basically everything is kinda even right now. Kamchi is absolute monster when it comes to buildings. But honestly, Germans do have slight advantage when it comes to buildings. They do have slight advantage when it comes to resources, but this is really small advantage, honestly. They have some advantages, but it's just not that big. Also, worth noting is that we don't have a Viking player, so obviously we won't be making that many planks. And we can also see the number of builders and diggers, and honestly, it also looks kinda even. Basically, we have 1 more digger, and they have... Actually, we have more diggers. And 1 less builder. Very, very close. And Kamchi already has mana. Oh, that is the temple. That's great. So Kamchi is basically set. This will be his battery. And from here, everything will be cast. And his whole food will come from here. Honestly, Kamchi looks extremely solid in my opinion. Also, let's perhaps talk about the team dynamics, because I feel like this map is really good for basically everything. Ships are perfect here. Like, you can basically bombard this whole coastline scot-free without any trouble. And you can probably also go for this, if there is anything there. But at least 1 player is vulnerable to that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? That's insane. Honestly, I don't think that's towered. That's even crazier. It's like too small for a tower. Like, the digging is obviously insane. The German team is really abusing that, but Kamchi is no worse, basically. Making a bunch of towers everywhere. And then we have Errol, who is not really digging that much, that I can see. And Shino, who is also not abusing that too much. Honestly, the Viking player is actually matching Shino in this mountain's acquisition, so it's certainly not bad. However, Shino is faster here. But the Vikings are just like that, right? They will have some trouble with early development. Sorry, I have to take a sip. Yeah. And I will have to talk for like 30 more minutes, up to an hour or 2. I mean, if this is 2-hour game, I will say that our team did extremely well, even if they lost. And if this is like, if we win this, will be absolutely insane. But we will see. I'm certainly cheering for them. But in some cases, I just can't seem to know or think what is happening here with this forest. And as you can already see, some puffs are already forming. Fortunately, I don't think that's, or rather unfortunately, I don't think that's the special forest terrain. I kinda hope it is, but looking at the puffs, it probably is not. Oh, this is the terrain. If it was like that, it would be glorious, but unfortunate. It's not. But yeah, Error is already making some food, and which is very good. Hopefully he does not forget about anything. And it seems he did not. There is the butcher already. The farms are already in as well, and the vine is being stored. And Kamchi is finishing his battery. That's very good timing, I believe, around minute 30. It is very good. And well, Kamchi just looks monstrous, honestly. Very, very good performance here. Same from Shino. That's 4 bakeries. Isn't that too many? I mean, at least technically 2 meals, 6 farms is kinda above 3. So you often end up adding 1 meal, 1 bakery after some time. But it seems Shino just gathering enough grain to just skip that and go straight for 4 bakeries, which is good as well. What kind of worries me is that I don't see any butcher just yet. Like, lack of a butcher is certainly not great. But hopefully it gets up quickly, but because that might be a problem. Especially that some first ones are probably already being gathered here. Let's just see if they pick it up, and it does not seem like it. Unfortunate. I believe 1 cycle is enough to fill it. So Shino will have some time before he starts occurring losses due to exactly that. But honestly, I hope it won't be too bad. I just hope about that, because honestly I don't see much anyway. And it's kind of time for him. Meanwhile, we already see basically big. Just look at this Mayan player. Come on. Just look at this player. What do you think? That he's all over the place, and that's completely correct. He's basically everywhere. That's insane. And already we can see mana. We can see at around minute 30, that's very fast mana. Very, very fast mana. And yeah, he's gathering everything, making a bunch of mines, digging for gold everywhere he can. And we see 5. Wow. Honestly, this looks extremely solid from this Mayan player. Despite you looking kinda all over the place, it's... Well, it does look all over the place. I kinda get why he needs this many settlers now. Like, let's take a look. He has 200 settlers, that's basically as much as the Vikings player, and then no one else needs that many. Right, he almost has non-standing ones. Oh. Also worth noting that he has no actual production built yet, which is interesting. And he's playing 4? That's kinda odd number. You take 2-1, 4-1. That will very much... Okay, he's gathering the agava. That makes kinda more sense, since I believe he will want to add like at least 1 more and 1 more small temple because otherwise that does not make much sense, because 3 to 2 to 1 is already overflow. And as we can see, he's out of settlers, because there is nothing here. Okay, this one is just now processing, and this is basically full. So interestingly enough, despite having 200 settlers, he's out of settlers, because the mana is not moving. It's barely not moving. Okay, finally. Let's check. At 220 settlers in minute 32, he's finally on the right amount of settlers. That's kinda insane. However, looking at his base layout, it kinda makes sense that he's like that. But honestly, it's interesting. I might try to do fast mana myself, because for me that's kinda fast. Like, you make mana before you start making production, and I kinda understand it and the way it works, because like you can basically stockpile everything. I mean, he's already out of... he doesn't have enough pickaxes and his call is full. But most important thing anyway is actually stocking the food, and that's for now good. Honestly, I find this experience interesting, and honestly, okay, single... okay, that's probably for the large temple. Full mana coming in, 2-3-3, that's good. Also 4 farms, that's pretty standard in my opinion. 4 mana, and that will be probably 3 bakeries. Actually 5 farms, 4 bakeries. Let's check, I currently see only 1. Right there. A lot of water. But I don't see more bakeries. Okay, for now let's maybe take a look at Shino, and Shino is overflowing grain. Quite clearly. But it's good. Here, I don't know what is stored. Okay, stone is stored here. I don't quite like that. And then we have like gold magazine, coal magazine. Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. These 2 mills will be able to make enough flour for these 4 bakeries. Not perfectly, but there will be a slight gap. And then we have settlers basically being made en masse. And the error is doing the same thing. Basically, both Polish players are actually stockpiling grain. And this Roman player is stockpiling tons of gold. Country is doing similar thing, honestly, so it's not bad. Only kind of Vikings player is kind of behind, but that's natural due to his, well, race. And funnily enough, Miles player is just like actually not taking this mountain at all, which is good. At least for the Vikings player. Yeah, that looks extremely solid. Is there a temple? Not yet. But there is a bunch of stones stockpiled. We also see Romans doing similar thing to Aaron. I guess he got that from somewhere, and that somewhere is Germany. And then Kamchi. Kamchi is... I can't say much. I can clearly see that this battery is working, which is very, very good. I kinda wonder if he's not out of settlers. He kinda looks short a bit. Maybe they are standing somewhere, but I don't think so. I think he's just short. And honestly, Kamchi does not look amazing when it comes to settlers. Honestly, everyone in Polish team has less settlers than German counterparts. Interesting. But honestly, the buildings and then the resources all pour now points in the direction of German team. But honestly, it's not that impactful as you might think, because ultimately the buildings are just an imperfect measurement that does not take into account many things like, well, army and how much of it you made on PT. And yeah, as I can see, this is basically happening. These two are not perfect, but they're nearly full. And we see 3, 4, 3, 2, which is not bad, but it kind of requires at least one Agava to work constantly for a prolonged period of time. Okay. He finally has some settlers at around 300, which is also insane. But honestly, Viking Flyer is also quite decent himself, and they have just like absolute metric tons of settlers. Like way more than I'm making usually at this stage. Which might be the part of the problem why I'm just not as good. And also we see 3 bakeries, single animal farm on 6 farms. And for Shinon that's basically working 4 to 2 to 1 as well. Where is the butcher? Where is the butcher? Where is the butcher? Here it is. Okay, good. I was so worried. I was looking visually for it everywhere and I didn't see it. But I finally see it and it's kind of a relief to see that butcher. I was really worried about that. Although looking at the state of these iron mines, it isn't here for that long, I think. I mean, maybe for some time now, but still. It's kind of interesting. I would like to go back and actually see when this butcher was built. And okay, minute 40. And let's quickly take a look at Error. I feel like I didn't speak about him too much. And Error is not looking bad himself. But this is kind of criminal at this point. So there will be no more space to gather that wine in. And we don't yet see first medium temple, or rather small temple. Interesting. Then we have Kamchi. Kamchi is just chilling. Maybe we can wait for the spell to happen. I believe Kamchi had like super good strat for this, so hopefully he delivers. And so far it kind of points in that direction, honestly. But Germans are not giving up at all. Like this Mayan player at this point actually looks extremely solid. However, okay, he might have some. Okay, that's insane. Okay, that's fun. And here are the markets. Let's see if there will be anything sent from or to. Maybe like this. And there is indeed something being sent out the border. Let's see what that will be. I assume stone? No, it's not stone. It is gold. 2 full stacks, 16 gold, just arrived at Mayan's base. And he's almost out of his own. Wow. Okay, this there is still no temple? What is happening here? This is basically just no, there is some. Oh, I know. He had a temple, then he deleted it. For some quick mana, so he has a mage, but I just didn't see the temple being built. Which is actually very good play, and I do like doing that. And also we see this charcoal maker. Very good building if you actually want to... what? I believe I changed that title. Or are you just like laughing right now? Strong? Wave and actually no. No. Okay, there is no... You have to stick with English. Learn. I will force the knowledge into your brains. This is weaponsmith, this is lumberjack. Or, yeah, lumberjack. This is large residence, this is sawmill. This is forester. This is stonemason. Oh, Kamchi has prof, if you want, I believe, if he actually launched that one. So you can check if Kamchi is giving his prof. This is gold mine, coal mine, iron mine, gold smelter, weaponsmith, mead maker. Not quite sure how this is called. This is grain farm. This is small temple. This is bakery. This is fisherman. This is a tower. That's funny. But yeah, the Roman player has just too much gold ore and he's actively sending it to mine. Okay, let's take a look at our monster, our little monster. Kamchi. Yeah, like for Kamchi everything is kinda... I don't know that much about the Trojans, but honestly Kamchi looks very solid. Let me take a quick look at stats. And yeah, at this point we are standing better when it comes to settlers than our German enemies. However, we are not standing nearly as good when it comes to golden weapons. Meanwhile, mana is in our favor, but that seems to be basically because of Kamchi. And yeah, the whole battery works perfectly. I wonder if we will see... Okay, he might actually build... I don't know if ship could cross this gap, but this is technical spot for shipyard. And yeah, that's tower, and he's taking this much of a mountain with that one tower right on the beach. Double barracks, however, just 2 magazines under them. Triple mana. Honestly, okay, let me check in stats who is actually leading in everything. And we can see the Mines player already having 112 gold and Viking player already having 70 weapons. That's very curious. Then we have Kamchi, who is also looking extremely good on this map. Like, I know that Kamchi is a good player, but yeah, for me, at least for me, that Trojan play looks like very, very... Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about that. Ah. Okay, Kamchi does not need any water. Shino is not making any mana, so that water will be enough. And he's still not actually managing to get through this supply of grain. Interesting. He's not having enough iron bars, honestly. That's the problem. I feel like that's a big problem here. The iron bars. Perhaps due to like very large tool production, but still. We also see hunters see the cutting down of the forests. Very nice. 5. Okay, that's basically mimicking this other my player in many aspects, but it just heals faster. Okay, that's weird. Probably there was just a bunch of animals here. Kinda. I mean, Error is not looking that bad. Although his settlers are kinda lacking. I mean, nah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's only Shino who has like a ton of settlers, like literal metrics on. And yeah, Shino actually has the most buildings basically out of our team, which is normal for Mayans, honestly. Unfortunately, the army does not come with it. Oh yeah, that's 2 versus 4. At least he managed to start getting rid of that wine. Not for long though. I know he has a lot. It's fine. Okay, it's good. Also, like the red Roman player is still sending the gold to the Mayan player, who has already a bunch of gold. And call. Honestly, this looks insane. I kinda get why they are doing this though. Like, I didn't think of that, but that will certainly improve my play. Like, watching this Mayan player kinda made me understand kinda better how you can play Mayans and why you make this mana like this. And now it's step 51 and it works just perfectly. That's like really interesting to me. Okay, it's minute 50. Let's see how many things he has. 2, 6, 9 gold smelters. Probably 6, 7. Okay, 9 to 7, which is not perfect. You kinda need more gold in order to like completely match the production 1 to 1. I mean 2 to 1 when it comes to gold to weapons. So yeah. And he is also doing fine when it comes to stone. That's just kinda insane. Like, Error is not even close to doing what he is doing here. Taking this gold and then taking this iron. Okay. Well, Error is just... Okay, he's starting doing something right now, but that's so much later. Like, a lot later. Although the double mines might save Error. Like, German player has just like 2 of them here and Error has like 4. Maybe that will save him. Hopefully. But honestly, I kinda... Okay, this forest does not look that bad after the time has passed. But it could have been a disaster, honestly. Well, see for yourself. There is basically no fish. The fish is in iron. That's probably early fish that was never used. But other than that, Error has no fish in the gold mines. True. You're completely right, Diku. He's... What is that? Is that a port? Okay, I believe it would be insanely funny if ship couldn't actually pass through here. And I'm actually not completely convinced that this ship can actually lift this gap here. This is like 50-50. But yes, he is making ships. It would be insanely funny if they can just like leave. There is small chance for that. That being said, Kamchi also does not look like he has enough fish in the mines. Like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Also, he's not taking these golds. And basically, what is that? Why did... Hopefully there are some non-Polish players. If you are not from Poland, say something right now. This man is really... Why didn't he take it? That's so stupid. That being said, this player also... Okay, he has some fish. He has some fish. It's not that bad. And the Mayan player actually has fish everywhere, so it's really good. And there's the fish check. Fish everywhere. And Shino also has fish. But Error is playing fishlets. And okay, this Roman player has some fish. It's not that bad. More fish Kamchi, oh no. Oh no. I know that you are not currently using... Oh, here is our prime German right here. Tomusz. Tomusz. Moin. Yes, I kinda agree. I would like to do that as well. However, I'm currently casting this match, so it's kinda hard for me to just speed it up to x2. But honestly, I would love to do that. At least there are like 6 players, so I believe I can like... let me check the commands, because honestly I don't remember them quite well yet, nor did I try them. Yep, I can. Right. Ah, that's because I didn't actually set... Why is it like that? I have it set correctly, unless I kinda set... That's weird. That's actually weird. Maybe that's a bug. I gotta tell Vichitan that something like that happened. Yep. Okay. At least we can see some scouts. All right. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was not supposed to be like that. It's just kind of probably a bug, or I just didn't set something correctly, but I believe I do have the teams set up correctly. So that's weird. Okay. Yeah, they don't say that. Honestly, that's really risky. Like, just look at the... Actually, they do not. They do not. I didn't want to say it all out loud. I expected. I probably all players did that, but yeah. I won't be saying this out loud. I just wonder if he knows. Maybe he tells himself that it will pass. Oh, error. And we are very close to PT at this point. Very close. Let's see the stats and teams. How does this look? Well, Kamchi is monster. Okay, that's transport ship. It would be really funny if he actually built like a transport ship. Not the transport ship, but the trading ship, the trading cog. That would be really funny. That would be like really funny. Yeah. Okay, you can look at the ship and I will just look at the stats. And honestly, Shino 106 KK, similar to the other Mayans player. Shino honestly scaled really well here. Kamchi is an absolute monster, similarly to the Viking player, who is also kinda a monster at this point. It looks really good for him. When it comes to mana, the SEK has clear advantage despite Kamchi playing Trojans. And honestly, it is not looking perfectly good. They do have an advantage in army, at least on PT. And there is the ship, that's the correct transport ship. We will see what happens with it. However, I kinda expect that they will try to do something unexpected, let's say, because perhaps they don't feel like they have too much of a chance to win in a regular combat, although Shino does show extremely good scaling right now, although without mana. That's okay. Right now he has some mana, and no good mana yet. 2, 4, 6, 10. Wow, that's not a lot of gold. At least not a lot of gold smelters compared to the like weaponsmiths. And Shino is moving. Germans are for now staying in their own portions of the map, and honestly, if our players knew that this is happening, they could probably single one out and like do 2 versus 1 and win, hopefully. Four to 3 to 2. That's not a great ratio. I do prefer 5. But Germans are not in a hurry. They will just probably stand in their own bases and make more echo. But honestly, look at this. Basically everything is out for the German player. He does have some more ores, but there is little to no food left in the mines at this point. And the magazines are basically empty as well. In comparison, Shino is kinda looking better. That it at least won't stop as abruptly as for the German player. So I do like that. Well, he didn't even test if this is going to go through. He will probably like put troops there, then start moving. That's stupid. But yeah, here it might be very abrupt. It's 14 gold smelters, wow. But let's say there is still some metal. There is still some gold, so that all still works, but just barely. I wouldn't be surprised if this just stops working at some point. Fortunately, this mine player already is adding farms. Already has 3 like more farms. Probably second. The armies are moving, by the way. And look at this, like German players are standing very far apart, and we are basically grouping in the middle. They probably see that. Honestly, you can very much rat this player out. Like, one tower, very easy to conquer. This tower, you just send like few swords there. And then you have like this tower, which is not guarded at all. And this tower, which like half an army's rat would just take. And then we have this tower for a red player. And would you look at that? That's the last tower of the red player. That's the only tower, right? The only one. Kinda insane. Very ratable. Here's building another right there. But honestly, if you just like put swords here, go around the border, you can just take this tower, then take this tower, and the player just loses. Kinda stupid, honestly. And perhaps here another tower. That being said, Kamchi is in similar situation. Tower here, and that's all I can see. Error has 1 tower here. And he's making another ship. Ah, these ships, oh. But also single tower. And Shino has a stack. Which is good. But also no reserve tower. So when it comes to security, basically no one is in good spot. The Mayan player might actually be in the best spot. Like, they should have taken Dick for this match, and I'm pretty certain he would be able to like kill 2 players just from the fact alone. There's no like heavily guarded towers. There are just towers in like random spots, and that's it. Like some have 1 tower, some have 3, some have like 1 middle tower. Oh no. No castles, no anything. No one really fears the rats. Well, it is 6-1. You probably can see them quite clearly and fast. But if they are just like that, it's kinda hard. Because you just come in, take, and that's the end of the game for a player. So yeah. Error, that's so usual for Error. Error will then, the game will end and Error will say, oh, I still had 400 weapons and I didn't recruit them. Like, I hear that too often. And Shino is like, oh, top spot. No, well, see this? See this? This is bullshit. And we see two ships, 400 weapons in the magazines that are not in the army. Error got pizza. Anchor, error anchor. I got baited into Polish, literally. Oh, what is this? What is this? Shino, Kamchi top 1. Kamchi, amazing game. Like, just look at the army. Kamchi is leading over Germans, literally. Absolutely amazing performance here. Top 1 spot, good. Shino is okay. Shino is in very okay spot, in my opinion. But error is kind of below. Like, yeah, he has a lot of weapons. And he does not have enough settlers to recruit it. He has 180 weapons, but like 180 settlers too short. He's like about 200 settlers short to recruit these weapons. That's why he says that, because he does not have enough settlers. That said, Kamchi is also not doing great on the settlers front. And honestly, no one has very high KKE just yet. And the building is very much equalized. It's interesting, it's getting closer, honestly. But yeah. I'm not entirely happy when it comes to errors performance. However, he does have a lot of mana. And that's certainly a redeeming factor, as long as he uses that well. Also, let me see if he's mating... Stupid. Literally before the match, Kamchi told them to make medics. And now I see no medics from error. And let's take a look at the... Where is he? I don't see his army. And look at this army. Look at this army versus error's army. What do you not see? You don't see the golden heads. And that will be the differentiating factor. And this ship is just standing. I don't know what he is doing. What are you doing, Error? What are you doing? Did you just press like here and expected them to go and then they stopped? Probably not. But that would be funny. And look what is happening. Error has 200 weapons in the magazine. They are starting the fight, and Error won't contribute as much as he could have otherwise. Like, it would be literally better to make swords and make medics out of that. But yeah, like, yeah. And the worst part is he can't even recruit it, because if he tries... Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Poor Error. It seems it can't even cross. It got stuck. I can't believe it. What even is that? Make memes out of that. And of Svensk. Stupid. You have to have that find. Okay, here it would cross, but here no. Okay, but they are fighting. I shouldn't be laughing from Error. Kamchi is the saving grace, perhaps. Oh, that was very good use of spell from Error here. Deleting that stone, so he can have better fight than the Mayan players. King of the lake. He got lost on the lake. Okay, and that's kind of bad for Kamchi, but at least the mana was used and it will quickly go away. Let's try to look at the whole fight here. Just look at how humongous those lines are. And honestly, Shino is doing very good job matching the Viking player. The Viking player is winning the top. He will probably come down on the Shino's side with those X-Men, and that might be a really problematic thing, and it is happening right now, in fact. The middle is getting pushed through, but the flanks are the weak point, honestly. Like this is their weak point. Well, no anymore, because the magic happened, and Error has no healers, and he's just now recruiting tier 1s, or level 1s. But this is kinda turning into not a good game for our team. At least they didn't lose straight on PT, and the Germans kinda gave us some time to at least look at the game. But honestly, performance of Kamchi was really good, and I'm happy with that. At least Shino did have a good game as well. I can't blame him at all, and the Error is now short on settlers, and his economy will be stalling even if they push through. Okay, he still has settlers, at least that. But hey, what's happening? Okay, that was just like. But he still has some weapons to recruit, and by the time he finishes, that basically will be gone. So okay, at least they forced the Mayan player to retreat slightly. But unfortunately, this Viking is doing a good job. And yeah, King of the Lake. And the Mayan player just kinda retreats. And the red player will have insane KDA on these Error forces. Those units are getting trapped. And from here onwards, it might be a tough battle. But I did like the play from Kamchi with the swords. That was good. At least it stopped and the collapse of Mayan flank immediately. So yeah, I do think that was very worth it. I will try to go to the guys and actually talk with them after the stream, after the game is done. It's over. In Polish. But it does look very bad right now. They have double the army that we have. So yeah, honestly, it wasn't even buildings, it wasn't resources, it was just pure army. And perhaps gold. Why does Kamchi has so much gold? And so little weapons? What happened there? And Error is pretty... at least Error is not out of settlers. Which is good. I was worried he might be. But now it will be worse fight. We will have less KK. They will have more KK still. They will have more army. Probably more mana as well. Let me check. It's pretty even. They pretty much zeroed out on the first fight. But honestly, that they give me a good idea as to how play the Mayans a bit better. So I'm happy with that. I'm absolutely happy with that. Kamchi, our golden boy. Unfortunately, he can't recruit anything else, as these barracks are currently being occupied. Error has the most army probably right now, yep, but this is all T1. Like, only T1. And at this point, we'll probably start slowly falling behind more and more. This is kind of typical for Settlers game. Right now, probably Error will be trapped here. And the Shino is currently trying to hold for his dear life. But it's not actually going that bad. Although the Vikings have more army, the fight is slightly better for Shino. And now this fight here also is happening. But it's 2 versus 1 for Error. And Shino is slowly losing. Error is probably slowly going to be losing in this level 3s versus level 1s with mana. And yeah, that's just agony at this point. Honestly, with this many level 1s, he could maybe try to flank Germans somehow. Try to do something. But well, it did not happen. Also, let's take a look at this amount of building space versus this one. This is much more compact. Well, I believe that Error is trying to get better score. Oh, Error is actually trying to get... Oh, look at this, look at this. The thieves from under the barracks. And Error is trying to... recover Kamchi. And unfortunately it won't be enough. Error is losing. Shino basically lost. Well, at least it wasn't as one-sided. It was honestly pretty... well, maybe not even, but we had our chance. I don't know if I myself would have played better. Probably not. I don't like to assume I would. But... hopefully next time. GG, there we go. There we have it. Let's go to the guys and see what they have to say. Oh, I can't even go to them. I will ask them to come to an interview in Polish. I won't force them to speak English. And we will see. Let me check if they are somewhere, as I don't see them anywhere. Which is unfortunate. I would like to very much have them. I would very much like to talk with them. I won't force. Yeah, I can't enter their channel. But I'm waiting and seeing if they come to me, perhaps. And yeah, I kinda don't want to go to the German players just yet. As yeah, that would be in English. I would way rather. Okay. Okay. There we go. Jak tam Kamchi? Jak się czujesz?
Świetnie. Chłopaki do ciebie na wywiad już poszły, a ty uciekłeś.
Ja przyszedłem do ciebie. Okej, bo ja poszedłem do
Halo,
Kamchiego.
halo, tu Londyn, kurwa, ale ja pierdolę, dlaczego wracacie do kraju? Wstyd i
Ale
hańba,
stachlica.
kurwa. Wypierdalać, wypierdalać.
Szczerze
Dobra,
mówiąc,
to
nie było
masz
tak źle.
bana.
Ja jestem zadowolony ze swojego wyniku, pozdro.
Ja
Ja też
też.
jestem
No,
bardzo
myślę,
zadowolony.
że Kamchi też może być.
Kamchi
Ja
wyglądał
byłem
bardzo
tą-
dobrze. On,
Ja byłem
szczerze
taką
mówiąc,
kulą nogi.
No tak,
żeś się podłożył, kurwa.
Eldor miał wynik lepszy tylko ode mnie i Kaidena, więc...
Słuchajcie, powiem tak. Jak Ero dla swoich niemieckich braci by mógł wygrać, nie? Jak on by swoim braciom mógł już plecy
To po co go
kupić?
braliście?
Musiał się podłożyć. No bo Wakowi po nogawce pociekło i powiedział, że nie zagra. Wakowi po nogawce pociekło i powiedział, że nie zagra i...
Waków wiedział, że że będzie grał jakąś kompromitację CWL-a i dlatego nie grał.
No ale no, przebiłeś.
Więc wybraliście mnie i zagrałem to, co miał Waku zagrać, co nie?
Tak, tak.
Gdybyś tylko Eldor wyrekrutował te 200 broni na walkę, może by to coś zmieniło.
Ciekawe ile euro żeś kurwa dostał do kieszeni. Nieźle.
No właśnie, nie?
Ja myślałem, że tym statkiem mogę przepłynąć tam.
A, możesz w dupę se kurwa wsadzić.
Statki, nie wyrekrutowanie na PT. Oj, hopie. Hopie. Golda też nie miałeś za dużo. Na tym
Ta,
samym
nie miał kurwa ryb w kopalniach. Pinguje mu, że nie ma ryb w kopalniach, a on kurwa robi...
Statek i mówi tak,
chyba na
No,
Widzieliśmy to, śmieliśmy się z tego tutaj na streamie. Ojej, Rurek, to jest taka kopalnia memów dzisiaj.
No.
No kurwa. I mówimy, mamy wyspotowaną wieżę od czerwonego, mówimy płyń tam, a on mówi nie mogę wypłynąć kurwa.
A to była jego jedyna wieża przez długi czas.
No.
Tak generalnie on miał
Nieźle.
tam 3 wieże, wszystkie z tyłu i dało się go mega zaszczurować.
Ej, gdzie on miał tą ostatnią wieżę, bo...
Z tyłu wszystkie były.
No, tam Kamci rozwalił parę.
To ja. No,
Nieźle.
rozwaliłem. Rzucałem
No, powiem-
czary i rozwaliłem coś tam.
Tam powinien być zamiast Kamciego Ferek.
No.
I zamiast Rarawaku.
Nie, wezmę to na siebie, przegraliśmy na moją odpowiedzialność, dlatego że powiedziałem chłopakom zbieramy się u Reora, a
Ja.
nie wiedziałem, że aż taką kurą jest u nogi, nie? Mogliśmy
Ej.
go opluć.
Wiesz, gdzie on miał ostatnią wieżyczkę?
Gdzie?
Na froncie ogólnie. Przy
O.
tobie.
No to już potem musiał postawić.
Nieważne gdzie by ją miał kurwa.
No i w te wieże, kurwa, wojska na PT nie ma, są statki i katapulty. Pierdole.
Które nawet nie dojechały kurwa.
Ech,
Znowu się dałem namówić na kompromitację, kurwa, przez rok będą mnie wyzywać.
No, oj będą. Oj tak by.
Trzeba było brać
Ja
lepszych graczy,
pierdolę.
jakiegoś Fearlessa czy kogoś za tego Errora, a nie...
Fearless był
Chłopaki
niedostępny.
z Niemiec się pytają, czy chcemy na interview iść do nich i sobie pogadać o meczu.
Dawaj ich na
Lepiej
mecz,
nie.
wkurwiłem się, bierzemy Heinewara.
Jeszcze raz?
Okej, to im powiem im.
Rewanż.
Okej,
Oj, ja też chcę.
okej,
Kurwa,
okej.
5 nas jest, 53
Dobra,
kurwa.
dobra, idę do
4
nich.
na 4 gramy.
A gdzie
Idziemy
oni
do
są?
nich? Na
Okej.
tym World
Dobra, chodźcie,
Championship.
chodźcie.
To też tam idę z wami. Hello.
Imagine because
We took wrong team, guys.
Polish invasion.
Yeah.
we have the error, the German spy, and he sabotaging our game. So we have to change our
I guess we
player.
are back to English.
Because we are with Shino playing 2 versus 4. It's unfair. We need to
Yeah,
remove,
he
sorry.
didn't have fish in mines and have boat and catapult. So what the
Oh
fuck
my
is
god,
that?
Error made boats in a lake and couldn't get out.
Yeah, he couldn't get out from the lake.
That's very funny. And instead of making fishermen, he was making ships on a lake.
Nice.
And
that
was
was
the
the
gaming
gaming
flow.
play. So you would have won if the ferry would have gone through the little tight spot.
Not guaranteed, but possible.
What was the plan with that? What would you have done?
But the plan was to kill Thor.
We had spotted last tower from Red Player. I don't know who was Red.
Oh, Thor.
I was expecting that. That's the reason why I gathered my soldiers at my barracks tower. but I had no more brain cells to keep my tower up at the farms. And
Had-
yeah.
You had to choose. One couldn't keep two.
Well, I wanted to make you a present.
After the fight, you put your soldier store on my barracks. I told Error to help me, to keep me out and recruit, and he sent 5 swordsmen to help me.
And then proceeds to fight over his own barracks.
First of all, the soldier was from ship that was supposed to
You were lucky you got
Oh.
anything out of that.
and
Oh, and also Error built this ship on the lake, not on the sea.
Yeah, I told them.
Ah, okay.
Funny.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supporting Evergrave's gold ore, but
I also help Error with gold, but he have like 2 gold smelter and this like 20 minutes on his.
You don't need more if you have no fishing gold.
So I think when you have a bot, like normal maybe, not the hard bot, but normal bot, it will be enough for us.
did
Better
you
than
have
what you currently have.
Did you have statistics in chat, Kaizen? No.
Okay, there is
Yeah,
a suggestion from my
I did
chat
have it in chat.
that asks, like, my viewers are asking for rematch on X2 speed.
oh,
I decline.
Probably Evergrey will be have heart attack and yeah.
Well, Error already had one,
Already
so
dying.
yeah,
just
it's
on
not that
the-
bad.
But yeah.
Okay, maybe
Yeah, but we can play one more if you want.
Yeah, but not today, and we
Not
have
today,
to
no,
kick
no, no.
Error. We have to kick
Not
Error.
today. Please no, I don't have
yeah,
time to stream
let
anything more.
Faku play. He's
oh,
better
error is just true to his name. Well, what's an error play without an error? Like the theory.
Well, he just makes too many.
I wasn't making many mistakes, but the beginning was fine.
Yeah, we can play tomorrow maybe.
I'm not
And-
sure Shino can play tomorrow because he's working, I guess.
Yeah.
Shino?
Maybe.
No, not working tomorrow, but I don't know whether I.
Ah, okay. There is a Women's Day and he can play because he's like
Well,
he's
anyways,
pantofel and can't.
we can do games like these always on Saturdays. I think next week. Next week.
Next
We
week.
can do it.
There are
Grain,
the
next grain.
finals, but the next week, in 2 weeks. So yeah, always on Saturdays, and yeah, maybe if there are enough players and streamers, we can do this while week.
Alright, I will be ending my stream, so thank you
Just
all for
write
watching.
something or say something, and we can play whatever you want.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.
Don't